What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some more Watcher of Realms, and today we're going to do a little bit of summoning. Now, I know there's a new hero on the horizon for the Cultist faction, but this account doesn't really care about that because we don't use legendary heroes anyways, and we've got like 30 ancient summons we can use, so I kind of want to do that because, you know, that can get us some epic heroes, epic lord heroes, more importantly, and save us some of our soul stones. We don't have to use those on people we have, you know, copies for. We're probably going to run through, drop like 200 blues. I'm just going to go in the crazy banner, I think, because I'm not too excited about the, these, like, I've already got Vortex to A5. Good hero, but I don't need him. I don't ever want to see another Assault drop in my life because they're everywhere. And Theoden's usable, so I'm not really worried about him. And since we don't use legendaries, Silas and Edith don't really matter over here. We're probably going to drop 200 here in the crazy. And then we're going to jump over and drop 30 in the Ancients. I don't think we're close to a pity, not that it really matters here. We might be fairly close in this, actually, I'm not sure. Either way, that's going to be the game plan. Probably run 200 of these out, jump over, Ancient Summons, hopefully get ourselves some copies of some Epic Lord Heroes, save ourselves some Soul Stones, and then use those on someone like maybe Greed or Deimos, get some A5-age going on, and some heroes that we need for progress. But, that said, let's go ahead and jump in and start dropping some 10 pieces. So, first 10 piece to go, here it is. Is it going to be good? I don't know. We already got a purple, so that's a good start. That's a good start. Unless it's like a, I don't know. What was that guy I was saying I didn't want any more? An Assault? Okay, it's not an Assault. We're good. It's a good day. So we got an AI. I do like her. I need to get her built up really strong. I think she'll be really good in Gear Dungeon 1. So that's a good place for her. She's probably useful in other areas as well. But her Frost Bombs, super duper nice. They're like a nice little AoE freeze once you get her awakened 3 times, which I do think we have already. If we don't, we do now, which is great. So these things actually hit pretty hard. Once you get her skill up like all the way, these hit like 600 and something% of her attack as damage, which is kind of nasty, especially since her ult comes back relatively quickly. It's only a 600 cost, and it lasts for 25 seconds, and she immediately summons Crystal Bombs, which is really nice. Solid hero. Happy to grab one out. That's good. Go ahead and drop another 10 piece. See what we get here. Take me some sips of coffee in betwixt. Another Perpski. All right, not bad, not bad. Who's it gonna be? Maul. Freaking, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I already feel very vindicated in using my summons. I was like, man, do I really want to do that and get people I don't need? But we're getting a Maul, so that's great. I think this is a 4 for him. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Either way, it's good. 1 more gets his cost down 5. That's a huge awaken for Maul. It makes him very accessible, easy to drop. A 22 cost is a pretty big commitment. 17 cost is still fairly large, but it's nowhere near 22, right? Some penetration increase is always nice. He already has that slow on his Salt Erosion, which is great. AoE damage plus slowing effects are always really good together. A little natural crit, and he freezes people with his ultimate ability, which is great because his ult hits super freaking hard anyway. Probably like one of the best epics there is. You don't have them all, I'm sorry. If you get them all, I'm happy for you. All right, very good to hero. Glad we got him. Hopefully we can get him to A5 relatively soon. This is going to be a food flip, so we'll just double tap this, boop, and jump back into another 10 piece. Maybe, oh, another food pull, no big deal. Maybe we'll get one of those achievements for pulling like all greens or something, just to make those kind of worth it. So we're what, like 40 summons deep right now. I think this will be 50. There we go. We got ourselves a purple. That's great. I think we are sneaking up on a pity over here, but I couldn't be for sure. Titus. All right. I may have been a little harsh on Titus. I still feel like he's not very good for the cost. He costs way too much. This bro is like the most expensive hero in the game, and I do not think he justifies it with his abilities. But he may have some niche uses, being that he doesn't die. Like, once he does die, he actually comes back to life. That's one of these. Yeah, repair mode. The downside is he is in self-repair for 5 seconds, and for those 5 seconds, I do believe people can walk right through him, so he doesn't actually function as a tank for those 5 seconds. But he does have a fairly decent amount of damage dealing potential for a tank, so maybe, just maybe, there's a potential use case for this guy in faction trials, and maybe somewhere else. I don't know. But I'm not super excited to get more of these guys, but I think we've already got like 3 or 4. Either way, I mean, he just cost too. I don't know if he made his cost a little bit more reasonable. I think he'd be a fairly fun unit to play with, but 31 is just way... I'm sorry about that. Sorry you had to hear that. Let's go ahead and get those 50 diamonds out of there. But there we go, a freaking Laurel. It's about time, okay? It's a lot of summons in, and now we've got one. She's going to be pretty big for us over here, being that she can recharge our ultimates. Still not a huge fan of how she's worked in the game, but now that we got one, it feels good. It feels good to have her. So let's give her a quick peek here. I know a lot of people want Laurel. She's very good for boss damage. But here's the thing I don't like about Laurel. Okay, call me crazy. I don't think she should be a mage, first and foremost, because she does nothing with damage at all. Like, she doesn't do damage with her ultimate. You could say she does damage with her basic attack, but not really. And mage is more of a DPS class. I feel like they should totally rework Laurel and have her be a healer class that still specializes in rage regen and boosting damage when people cast their ults. I think that would be great. But I think her talent is the problem with her. She essentially is just better sold than on the field. And I don't like heroes like that. Like, it kind of annoys me when a hero's only good thing going for him is like, hey, we put him down, sell him off. And that's great. But if you could rework her talent into her ultimate and have her ultimate restore rage by like 25% instantly and then 2.5 for 10 seconds for all the allies in range, that would be pretty good, right? Then you wouldn't have to just constantly sell her off, and you could get more, use case out of her passive here and get damage increase on all your heroes as they were casting her ults. Maybe even get rid of that not triggering during her ultimate. That would be interesting as well. But either way, we do have one, and now we can take her up to 5-star, get her promoted 5 times, and just make use of this talent right here. Sell her off to really just start farming ults and do some good damage there. So it's good to get one. It's good to get one, but I still think she needs to be reworked to be more of a usable hero in terms of just being on the field and not having to constantly be sold to make her really viable. So anyways, next tin bomb already. I mean, this has been a pretty solid freaking experience. We got ourselves some legendary coming in. Not that I'm worried about who it is. Of course, it'd be someone super crazy good or cry. It's not. Okay, that's good. If it was like another freaking insanely good hero, I'd probably just weep a little bit. But that's all right. Snagged ourselves out an Azor. He's kind of an interesting tank. Ooh, a Livian. I'll take it. We do have the option to fuse Livians, but, whatever. Getting one I don't have to fuse. It's always nice as well. So this bro here, kind of interesting. His damage scales off his defense. And after he attacks, I can't remember what it was. He has a certain number of attacks or something to go into like a heated effect on his hammers that boosts his damage, increases his defense and stuff. He does have a chance to stun. I can't remember, something about it that was kind of interesting. I don't know. Either way, he's kind of a somewhat damage dealy tank. He is part of the Nightmare class, which means he does work with a lot of, like your Torador stuff going on there. But I don't know. I'm not too crazy about this dude. He's, I guess, kind of a DPS tank. He has a fairly solid attack range there. But either way, there he is. Azor, we got him. I think I've actually sold one of this guy off at like the very beginning of the game. I could be wrong. I think I did sell him off to get a max book or something. Either way, drop ourselves another 10 piece here. Keep things rolling. Another perp ski. Love to see it. Sipping on some coffee while this is going down. Cyclone. Now, initially I thought Cyclone's kind of crap, and I'm going to stick with that. I do think he's still mostly crap. The main thing that's going to be a difference maker to me is if I can use him in Gear Dungeon 2 for his knockback to kind of push that Banshee away so that we're not necessarily stuck eating that instant death they have at like stage 5+. So he may have a very niche use case for us. Will he actually, though? I don't know. I still feel like he's probably going to be more or less useless in most cases. So we'll see. But there we go. We got another win him. I think we have like 4 of those now. Another 10 piece coming in. We're pushing, what, 80 or 90 summons deep right now? Another purple. Love to see it. Maybe these crazy banners have like better epic drop rates or something, like, because I mean, we've grabbed a Maul, we grabbed a freaking Laurel, we've grabbed 2 Livians now, which is actually pretty sweet. If you don't know about Livian, she is probably one of my favorite epic tanks, not because she's a super duper solid tank, even though she kind of is, but it's mostly that she can stun like every 3rd attack, which is cool. It's definitely helpful, especially on this account for Apocalypse, being able to stun the boss and reset that saw a little bit. Just with a tank that's also going to be eating the big damage of his smash anyway. She kind of fulfills 2 roles, and I like that. Her ultimate does give her a fair amount of physical damage reduction, which is great, and it's permanent. So as soon as she pops it, it's on forever. And that's actually pretty good, especially once you consider her final awaken here starts her out with her ultimate. So she's immediately in ultimate form as soon as you put her down. And that's pretty cool. I do like that. So really, honestly, a solid epic tank. I do enjoy my Livian. Let's keep going, though. I drop another 10 piece here and see what we're getting. Another purple. So we haven't gotten a ton of food pools, which is pretty nice. Scorch and Imani. I think I have my Imani at 5 already. I might not. That might be Salil, and I'm confusing them. I know my Scorch is an A5, and I may end up building him for something like the Immortal Codex, the Conqueror, because he does do AoE damage. He does have a decent attack range here. And we're kind of short on like AoE fighter units, so he may just get built simply because we don't have a lot of options there. And also for the Infernal Trials, we can use him there as well. So, boop, there we go. Got that. Got ourselves an Imani. She's a super nice little nuke. If I hadn't had Elysia for Gear Raid 219, I would have just used her. Because when you put her down, she gains attack bonus when she attacks people. She's going to gain attack bonus again, crit rate, and crit damage as soon as she's deployed for like 15 seconds. Once you skill up her ult, you actually get it like super duper fast. It's going to go down to an 1100 cost, and I believe she starts with 1000 energy. So she essentially gets her ult incredibly fast, and it boosts her damage by a buttload. Her attack speed goes way up, and she just starts laying waste to people really, really fast. So she would be the person I would probably cycle for my damage phases, especially since she does have an awaken that lets her redeploy faster naturally. A nice little epic nuke, and you get a fair amount of them from summoning. Like, she's not like super duper rare. So pretty solid pick up there. Happy to have another one. Get her to A5. That'll be nice. Looks like we are going to get a food pool now. I jinxed myself by saying we hadn't gotten many. And now we got another one. So, another one. Oh, it's not going to be 2 back-to-back, is it? Don't do me that way, game. Well, what the freaking... What? What the heck is that? 5 epics in 1 pull? That's insane. That is crazy luck. A Dolores copy. I know someone out there is just like punching air right now because I pulled a Laurel and a Dolores. And they're like, are you freaking kidding me? But remember, this is an epic-only account, so they're very, very important here. Of course, they're important for you too. And I'm sorry if you don't have them. But we got another one. That's awesome. Get her awakened up a little bit. Another Brienne copy. She's like my little mini Hatset over here, so I'm really happy to get more of her. Titus again, I mean, meh. Harpoon? I think it's Harpoon. I'm going to call him Harpoon because I like that. Actually not a terrible little northerner guy here. I think he has some use case. I do want to get him built up just to try it out and see how good he actually is. And then we've got another Greed copy, which is awesome. Because this is one of the guys that I'm telling you, if you don't have this guy A5'd, he is super duper worth it. His A5 is just so strong. His ultimate ability, instead of casting either a slow or an AoE burn damage, it just casts both every time. So it slows everybody down, and then it burns them on top of it. Just really, really good. Plus, he gets his ultimate back really, really fast. A really solid candidate for Soulbound Arcana. That's just good. So I think ours is A2 already. This be an A3. That's just saving us some Soul Stones, and that was one of our big goals today, was to save some Soul Stones. Brienne, if you don't know, she has some split shots here. Air units take an extra hit, but she also has a little, like, every 8 seconds or whatever. I think it's every 6 seconds. She shoots an arrow that splits and does extra damage, which is nice. And her ult is, like, essentially a dumbed-down version of Hatset. It doesn't have a range that Hatset does, like it doesn't attack behind her, but it does attack in front, which is nice, and it does do pretty heavy AoE damage, so really, really solid. The downside to her is, of course, fairly high ultimate cost, but really good. Glad to have another one of her. That's super great. Harpin, like I said, he has like some potential use cases. I'm not really sure where I'm going to use him yet. A bit of an execute going on, which is nice. Killing people with his ultimate also boosts his attack speed, which is great, but I think one of his awakens also gains rage back. I mean, his ultimate doesn't have a big cost. It's actually a really low-cost ult, so he can pretty much kind of spam this relatively fast. When he's shielded, he ignores defense. That sounds nice to me because once you get his 5th awaken, every time that he crits, he gets a shield. So he can essentially permanently roll a 30% ignoring defense, which makes me think maybe an Apocalypse run would be worth it with this guy. He might actually be able to do something in the Apocalypse, just, you know, because he ignores so much the defense of the boss. Could be something to try, since we don't have a lot of Apocalypse damage dealers in the epic category. he's someone we might give a little shot there and see what he does. So, boom. I think that's actually A5 of him anyway. We have a lot of them sitting back. Food pull here. Give it the old double flip. Not great. Drop another 10 piece. Is it going to be more food? It's not. Okay, we're good. Got ourselves some purples here. At least one. I can't believe we pulled 5 purples in one summon. That's insane. An Estrid. Well, we do have A5 Estrid already. I guess there was a bug with her recently, but I don't know what it was. It just got fixed where I got to use mine. So I essentially just got a free stamina potion because they messed up Estrid somehow. I have mine A5 already. This is probably one of my favorite fighters for the Epic class. Super duper solid. Does a lot of, like, if you build attack speed on her, she can chain attacks, like, super duper fast, which is great. But her ultimate is just absolutely decimating. It does a ton of AoE damage. She boosts her attack speed while she's using it, and she just mows down enemies like crazy. She's literally like a little lawnmower, and it's awesome. Plus, she applies defense reduction to enemies when she hits them. And this is really great for, like, Gear Raid 1, where your enemies already have, like, a high defense value. She can kind of strip that off and then just absolutely decimate them with her ultimate. Really, really cool. She has that extra attack range with her first Awaken, some crit rate. This is what the super nice Awaken for the third one. Her ultimate now has a chance to attack 2 times in a row. With high attack speed, she can, like, just chain these little chops, like, insanely fast. It's nuts. And it just decimates things. It's really cool. Cheaper cost is nice, a 14 cost Estrid. Easy to get her out. Kind of works pretty well in the single target arena, to be honest. I do like her there. And then Rage Regen against penetrated enemies. So she does strip their defense anyways. She does get a little bit faster Rage Regens. Really solid Epic. Probably one of my favorite fighters. Let's go ahead and get into this. This will be 150. We'll have 5 summons after this one, right? That sounds right. So after this one, 5 more pulls and we'll be at 200. Go ahead and double flip this, just food pull. All right, so 1 down here. See what we get. It's gonna just give us all straight 5 food pulls at the end. That would be sad. They won't do that. They didn't. I already got a purple, so whatever. Another Scorch. He's probably getting pretty close to A5 now. Not really sure what his Awakens do. Makes him a little tankier when he's during his ult. Interesting. Some flat attack bonus. Not bad. He has a pretty low attack stat, but as an AoE hero, I understand why he doesn't have a super high attack stat that would be broken. He does gain a lot of attack bonuses, though, through his passives and through his Awakens. 10% attack when he's attacking more than 2 enemies simultaneously. That's kind of his main use case, is attacking more than 2 enemies. So you'll probably have that up a fair amount of time, using him in areas he should be used. Some penetration, never a bad deal. And then his damage increased by 10% against enemies not blocked by this unit. So that's interesting, a little damage buff as well. We'll see what A5 Scorch is all about one of these days. This is 20. We've only got 3 left after this. Gonna be a food pull. We'll give that the old double flip ski. Here we go, third one. It's gonna be a food pull. Uh-oh, they're getting me. They know that I can't end on a food pull, so they're gonna drain all my diamonds out. Oh no. Is it another one? Okay, like, don't you dare. Don't you dare, game. Sip a little more. An Ascendi copy, all right. So I do use her for Apocalypse. She is my second cleanser. I have Medan as my main cleanser. She's an HP-based healer, so I can kind of, build her tanky easier. But she is nice. She has a little cleanse on her ultimate here. Heals everybody, and then she starts bounce healing, which is also pretty good. But she also gives attack speed increase to the allies in range, which is kind of nice. Has a fairly long cooldown on it, but it's still nice. And I believe one of her Awakens, this actually makes it last a little bit longer. But then when she's on the field, she increases attack speed for all deployed heroes by 30, so that's nice as well. Just a little extra padding for your attack speed stats, which is great. And then when she casts her ultimate, it automatically triggers Mania, no matter if it's in cooldown or not, so that attack speed buff will happen anyways to everybody in her attack range. So really solid attack-based healer for Epics. She's also part of the Piercer faction, which is nice. She does get that extra attack range if you have a Piercer Lord available to you, so that's pretty cool. I believe this is supposed to be our final 10 bomb here. I'm like 92% sure it was supposed to be, but I didn't really math how many diamonds I was supposed to have left, so another freaking greed. That's what I'm talking about. What a one to end on right there. But this is going to be like A4 greed. We only have to waste? We'll have to waste like 1 soulstone on this guy now to get him A5, and that's going to be huge for us. So awesome pickup there. Very happy with that. That is a pretty freaking solid summoning run. I'm pretty happy with that. We got a lot of good stuff coming out of there. I think not all of these obviously can fit out because some of them are in my bag now. Fair amount of 3 stars to sell off to recoup some diamond loss there, but we got some greed copies. Harpoon, I mean, whatever. The Sunday, pretty happy about that. And we got a Laurel, so we can finally start doing some Laurel strats and messing with that and trying to boost our boss damage up a little bit. That's really cool. But with those out of the way, it is time to grab all this. Nice. Ooh, mythic extracts. I'll take it. And we're not going to use these. We'll hold on to those for the next time, I guess. But now we're on to the ancient summons. We got 30 of these bad boys to drop. Can we get something good? Hopefully an epic lord, really what I'm going for. Not really, I don't really care who it is. Honestly, any of them would be okay, but, you know. Are you serious? I'm telling you, dude, this account has like the most insane ancient summoning luck I've ever seen in my life. A Vargas, well that's pretty solid. Who did we just snag? I don't know who this is. I do know, is this Morrigan? I believe this is Morrigan, it is. So he just pulled a legendary lord hero. That's pretty freaking sick. I tell you what, dude, this account is like, it's insane. The amount of legendary summoning luck I get over here is crazy. Then I jump over on main account and I summon and I get absolute dog water for legendaries and I cry a little bit on the inside. But over here, it's just the way it is, man. I got Ingrid, I got freaking Eris, I got like all the new heroes just popping up over here. Got me a Lord hero, got to get that booby shot in, otherwise, you know, it doesn't really count. Is there going to be a butt shot? Probably will be. There's not, okay. You never know with these people, but there we go. A legendary Lord hero. Ah, it sucks we can't use her because her faction buff is actually really solid. But that's pretty cool. Vargas in and of itself is a good pull here. I do like his awakens. They're just pretty nice, essentially. Once you get him all the way to 5, this is just going to be great. He does quite a bit of damage, but he's also invisible. So this is going to make our Gear Raid 3 push through 20 and 21 much more accessible. We just got to build this guy with some serious attack, some serious gearage, and we can use him to hopefully hold that right lane for us and deal with the enemies that spawn over there. And then we should be okay. But yeah, that's his kind of big deal there. When he pops his ult, he gets rid of his invisibility, but he does a buttload more damage, so he can kind of knock things out really quickly. Hopefully, this is going to be our guaranteed guy to make our way to 321. We'll see, though. I've never really pushed that high in Gear Raid 3, so it could be pretty tough. Either way, we got him, and that's sick. Happy to have him. Freaking Morrigan, I tell you what, dude. The Lord skill on her, pretty solid. You just get a 30% damage bonus against enemies that are slowed, stunned, frozen, or immobilized. Pretty much every cultist hero does that already. Plus, it boosts their AoE damage by 25%. Just all around a super duper solid Lord hero. She has pretty respectable damage herself, but that's pretty sick. Alrighty, so the first 10 bomb went really well. Let's see what this next 10 bomb's holding for us. Gonna get another purple, that's good. But no legendary. If we got another legendary, I'd probably just weep a little bit. I just would. Who are we gonna snap? Another greed? Alright, so now we don't have to waste any soul stones on greed. Bro is A5'd already for us. That's sick. Love to see that. Wrath, get another copy of him. That just saves us more soul stones on Wrath, because I do need to get him A5 as well. His A5, very nice for that self-sustain. When he's popping his heavy blow, he will start healing for quite a bit of the damage he deals, so it's actually pretty hard to kill Wrath once he's A5'd and well geared. So that's a big grab for us. I think that makes ours A3, which does give him a burning. Be nice, never bad to get a little extra damage output. So we only got to put 2 soul stones in Wrath as it is now, and none in Greed, which he was like one of my top priority soul stone users. So now that he's like A5 on his own, that's awesome. Go ahead and drop our last 10 piece here, see what we get. Gonna get another purple, that's nice. There we go, let's see what it is. Who's it going to be? A Brienne. All right, well, that's okay. I'll definitely take that. So that's like an A3, I want to say, Brienne for us. The first Awaken on her is actually really solid. She gets 30% physical penetration when she pops her ult. That's a lot of penetration. That's really solid. Really good. And then she gets the attack bonus at A2. At A3, her split shot damage goes up 20%. That's just extra damage. Little crit rate at 4, and then a little extra split shot for you at 5. So really solid pulls. I'm super happy with how that went. That is insane. Let's go ahead and grab this out. Get some more mythic extracts. I'll take them. What a freaking day. You know what I'm saying? We need to just go ahead. I need to pull these guys out. Go ahead and summon all these, or do this. There we go. Go ahead and pull this so we can get our epics back in our team. I just want to make sure I've got them. Where are you at? Summon button, U button, bulk select. That'll get us all of them. Perfect. All right, so we can sell off these dudes later. I'll do that in my own time, but I also like this new view, man. This is nice, being able to do that. I wish you could just sort them by, like, which hero it is. But Awakens, we have them all at 3, so that is going to be an A4 Maul. That's great. We got an A1 here. I think we pulled 2 copies of her. We did, so that's A3 for Brienne. That's great. This guy was only A2, and we pulled 3 copies, take him straight to A5, which is awesome. What a day of summoning. Wrath going to be A3. That's great. Only 2 Soul Stones needed for this guy. This means we got Soul Stones that we can use on pretty much anybody that we want. Amani, we did get 1 copy of her. That's going to be an A5 there. Good for single target damage. That's nice. Nasandi is not awakened yet, so that'll be our first awaken on her, which is not a bad one. Scorch. How many Scorches did we get? 2. So he's not quite A5 yet, but he's working his way up there. He's getting there. I guess I got her. Oh, Vargas. So we got a Vargas. He's pretty rare, so I'm happy to grab one of him. Outside of that, though, we did get a Dolores. Her awaken here, some flat HP. Believe it or not, actually a pretty solid awaken. Making her a little bit tankier, super nice for like Apocalypse runs, so she doesn't die. Because she's pretty squishy. Either way, that's great. I'm not really sure. This is like the big awaken for her, especially once you get her exclusive item, her exclusive necklace or whatever. This makes it where she guarantees refills her rage, or at least a certain amount of her rage, after every time she pops her ult, which is pretty good. It's definitely good. It helps you keep uptime on her damage boost more often, which is awesome. Livian, we did grab, I think, 2 copies of her. We did, so she's A4. I just got to fuse 1 of her out, and then she's done, and we ain't got to worry about upgrading her ever again. We can use our Soul Stones now, pretty much whoever we want. Like Deimos, taking Deimos up to an A5 will be super nice for us. Getting that extra penetration, extra tearing stack caps, this will be nice. That's good. Pretty much the best summons I could have hoped for. Way better than I expected it to be, but there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button to show your support, and I will see you guys in the next one.